They counted me?
Counted.
They counted me?
Yeah, counted me.
So what kind of money they really owe you? You work for them? What kind of work you do for them?
I work for them, bro. People know I'm paid. That be a 30 country.
Oh, you start the whole country?
That's for the football. Yeah, you can do something for me? No. Huh? I can put you somewhere. I'll tell you. What you will do? Nothing. I'm a chief for culture investigator from the Grand Cayman country.
Yeah, no.
Wow.
Yes.
So tell us, explain to the people, because you are saying how they owe you the money, how they promise you to get the money, and what time they show that they're going to get the money.
No, pass it. Promise the money, the time reach, then they deny the money.
They don't get the money. Why year now? How many years you spend now?
I didn't know. I changed it.
2013, the year will carry the cup.
That means, change the ball the way door from Russell. If you anyone see that the door, that time, that means send it there.
On the fee?
Yeah, on the fee. Yeah, you were there?
Yeah, we saw the fee.
You were there. That rain.
How many light go on the fee? Are you?
I already, that bride door, I come send it there. You give my money, please.
How much they owe you? How much in total? US dollar or Liberty?
US.
US dollar?
US.
They said they were going to give to you after they, and one they call and give to you.
For nothing.
Then give you $5.
$5, I don't see. Oh, they made, they coin, from Kanga. Oh, man. I forgot about it, man. Ni small. Oh, man. Anyway, that is.
I will see what I can do. Yeah, man, can do the same work.
My mom bombing with it.
Okay.
That's something. I was not there. But now already. This year, we pass, I will bring a cup.
So you forget keep man totally? Or get the money first? You must get the money first before you forget keep man.
Money first.
But then get the money, keep man now win the cup.
No way, we not go. We not go.
Are you really serious? But we prepare the country me prepare.
Seriously, brother. The country.
So you mean, you stay cross the country will not win any cup until you forgive us?
I'm not looking for money on the street though.
I'm
not looking for money on the street though. I'm too big.
Satellite.
I'm too big. I'm Republic of Liberia. I'm not looking for money on the studio. I get my own money. Brother. Now, I'm sitting down here. You want for us to do anything, we do it.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So I say, you not forget the country when they get the money. You very serious about it?
That money. People now give it. Nothing.
Even a year can wake up.
No way. Y'all give me my money, please. 2,500. I promise you I'll go to the carpet. We'll go to the carpet.
We'll go to the carpet when they get the money now.
Rascal. Take time. You not get that money. We'll not go carpet first.
Wow. You not go.
And the board members. We just have a few minutes with her and we're going to ask a few questions that will welcome Dr. Mapaya. Good morning. I see you just had a short meeting with the president. What are your expectations for the job you're coming to take?
The expectations are that I will lead the University of Liberia into its next era. And I'm going to give it everything I've got and everything I've learned over the last 30 years of my career as an academic and an administrator and help solve the
To our members of the first branch of government, media, we just want to say here, we're here to console them for this despicable, unpatriotic act that are taking place here. There's a lot of wanton destruction that is going on in this country. Beginning with this, we're not going to tolerate this anymore in this country. We are a poor country, people are trying to help us, and other people are bent on destroying this country. You have problem, we have the rule of law, we have every way in this place to be able to listen to you But we're not going to accept this. And we're asking the Minister of Justice, all of the security apparatus, including our friends, to investigate this letter. People who are culprit, we will deal with them, and we'll set the tune for all other people who, when they get angry, they burn down the police, they destroy this. We're not going to allow this. So we just want to say, to console the members of the first family in this government, that we're in sympathy with them, but this destruction will have to stop. And we're not going to allow this to happen in this country. But people who are proud.
I hope those who were in charge of the building will have maybe looked at it and investigated it properly. But we don't know. It needs to be.
Do you think there's a mastermind behind this?
But first of all, we need to know what happened. Without knowing what happened, we cannot make conclusions.
What does it mean for the country?
Threatening to burn this building down.
This is what?
A member of the bloc, Frank Safoko, representative of District Number 9.
When did he do that?
What?
When?
Recently.
No, I don't know. I'm not aware of that.
Honorable Lord Mayor, this is the second time happening here. This is the second time happening at the Capitol building. Just a week ago, we also saw a similar situation,
right.
And then it's
a very old building. There were several renovations that went on. We think that the structure itself is not too sound. We were advised by the contractor.
With this now, will you back up from the speakership? With this happening?
Right. Yes.
The protocol you actually see.
Will you back up from the speakership?
So, just last question. People are accusing your blog that this is coming from. Do you have any reaction to this?
No, I don't follow.
You actually made a post yesterday, Alumbo, and later on it was removed from.
Alumbo, it's Alamo.
Okay, Alamo. But later it was deleted. What did you delete, Honorable Lawmaker?
Men and women.
Okay.
They have nothing to do with fire.
Okay. So, folks, we just want to hear from the speaker as it relates to a post yesterday because he has been concerned.
President Blanca, first in your office. Which one better? Joey are first here. Why Joey are first here? Because Joey had routine. We were selling, getting money for ourselves, providing for our family and all us people. But now, Joseph Wakata, no help, no money. We just selling. First day, we come here to sell. Since this money, we left our house to sell. We tired for them to buy it very hard. We're suffering, so we're better for Joey. So, Joey, the real is over. Joey, yes, the real is over because when I was selling Joey, but now.
But latest, Senator Johnson brought his daughter to me, Krista. Some are calling nodding her head positively in acknowledgement of that. Senator Johnson killed him. Thank you. Thank you. Senator Johnson brought his daughter to me, and several times he came and said, Senator, my son, please talk to President Walker to give my daughter a job. I trust you and your relationship with the president. I said I will honor that request. 2 days before his passing, Senator Johnson called me and said, distinguished, please don't forget. I said the president, I will meet the president in Grand Bassa County for the funeral of the late lieutenant of Grand Bassa County, and I will remind him and push him. Thursday morning, we in Grand Bassa County for the funeral of the late lieutenant of Grand Bassa County when Krista called me early in the morning crying. Senator, Daddy gone, he left me with you. And that's when I knew that the rumor about, and she told me what happened to the woman. I'm being an emotional person, I broke down. I called the protest, I informed her, When Senator Daba Babla came, Senator Boto Kane came, all of them came to Grand Bassam County and said, by the time the president arrived in Grand Bassam County at the protest house for the funeral, right in her living room, I said to the president was also down. And I said to the president, I said, Mr. President, Senator Johnson left a witch, a last will, maybe with me, for us to intervene. And the president asked what was that? And I explained to him. I said, we have to honor his wish, Mr. President. And he said, Dylan will do that. I'm saying this not to
while the chairs usually at the John Timmer, and the John Timmer got burned, and we are seeing it here.
Anyone who says that this chair at the John Timmer, that person, they don't know the John Timmer. This chair has not been hosted at John Timmer. And the first thing I want the public to understand is the historical analysis of these chairs. Okay. These are the chairs that were used by John Timmer.
But latest.
While the chairs usually at the John Timmer, and the John Timmer got burned, and we are seeing it here.
Anyone who says that this chair at the John Timmer, that person, they don't know the John Timmer. This chair has not been hosted at John Timmer. And the first thing I want the public to understand is the historical analysis of these chairs. Okay. These are the chairs that were used by John Topa Molba and Edwin Melvin Snow Jr. when they were Speaker and Deputy Speaker respectively.
2006?
In 2006. These are historical chairs. So thereafter, when other speakers succeeded them, they stopped using these chairs. And these chairs were kept at the basement of the building. One might say in the archive, or whatever nomenclature you give to it. So when we took over, we felt that this was a historical chair. We needed to have reconditioned it to still be used by the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker. It is against this by draft that these chairs were taken to Central Town. They were furbished or furnished, and we brought them on Thursday. Thursday was the first day these chairs entered the Joint Chamber. So anyone who said this chair...
Thursday of last week.
Thursday or last week. No, Tuesday.
The Tuesday.
This on Tuesday was the first day this chair was used in the Joint Chamber. Okay. So after Tuesday, I instructed the maintenance department to take it back to the lab, to the archive, which is a library. There's a place called LIS, Legislative Information Service. Yeah. Near another place there, around there, these chairs are being kept. So anyone in the public thinking or insinuating that these chairs were kept in the Joint Chamber, I think they are joking. But let me say this, so you, the reporter, got to help us and clarify it. When we moved in the Joint Chamber newly, where these chairs...
For me, I am that I am. You're not doing nothing for me. You said we all bring yourself down to the people. You continue to beg. You continue to take the wrong thing to be the right thing. We continue to bring prosperity in our churches, and that's salvation. We're not doing the right thing. Mr. Joseph Barker, you know me. This is very hot. Since I went for you 2001, you didn't call me. Today you are there. We sang confident, you and myself. You told me you said very hard. I will credit ticket for you. I want you to go, Pastor Jerry. When you go, you even ask me, but how would I get finance to run? 25 years I was here with my brother, the former president.
So, did God give you any message about the thing, the happenings here at the legislature?
Yeah, just listen to me. I went and I came and I told you, I said, it's convenient that you are sending this agreement. If you don't do it like bureau, be outside, and you say, so be it. You and myself. You won an election, I came, and only some smoking. You didn't call me. So, Mr. President, the Lord said you should take it back. You should think twice. Because his vengeance, his wrath is upon the nation, meaning the government. He said, what you people are doing? I'm not satisfied. I am not satisfied. You are doing it to the speaker to disgrace it. He said, you should stop it. You shouldn't have second speaker. Jesus. The Lord is angry with Liberia.
So God said we shouldn't have second speaker?
No, only the speaker that was there.
But the people say that what's happening now is a
regular legislative process. You know, this is what happens at the legislature. They got to take into consideration the political nature of the happenings here. Or will not take into consideration because why? They were supposed to see God faces. That's why they got churches. They are going to church. The pastors and things were supposed to be there to tell them this is not right. That they don't want to see anybody. They don't want for anybody to talk to them. On their own decision, God is angry. So it got when did the vision come to you? When did the vision come to me? Almost 6 months. 6 months. And I've been asking God, how can I give it? How can I come to this nation to give this vision? He said, it's about time. I was in my closet, in my prayer time. He said, come. I will make way. Go to the capital. Tell Liberia, Monrovia, they should stop. I will revenge my wrath. Did God say that he wants a Speaker Kofa or Speaker Kun? Which are Speaker God really? Listen to me. I told you, I said there's no second speaker. Whether Speaker Kun, Speaker who. The first speaker that was there, I'm not a politician, but I'm a servant of God. That's the speaker God saying he's pleased with, he's satisfied because Liberian people chose him, it wasn't the government. Why are they coming in to remove him? The Lord says he's angry. Too much bitterness, too much. They are eating too much. Liberians are crying. The blood of Mama Liberia is crying. No more peace. They are suffering. People are telling God things. The Lord is angry. You take them before army government come. You take them so there can be war. You take them because when God gave the message, when he said that I am, he's the one to pack it. He said, a lot of death will happen in nation Liberia. I will start from the churches. I will start from the ministry. I will start from all over because the people are not serving me.
How many visions have you seen?
I said, this is my vision. 6 months I've been seeing it over and over. God been telling me to come. When I go to the radio station, they will tell me to pay money. I don't have money for that. The poor people are suffering. Mama Liberia is angry. Mama Liberia is crying. Listen, this is very hard. You know me. Listen to me. You know when God speaks, he speaks. He don't beg. He don't take it. You know the kind of person I am. I don't go and beg people. But God is coming to focus. Nation Liberia. Even God is telling me you must take down how you run this country. You must be very careful. And nobody is supposed to know. God be with you. God bless you all. In Jesus' name.
Sometimes when we come to you,
my name is Reverend Mother Victoria Holt.
My brother, the people that are facing the jobs, they're not taking the jobs. 15 years, you in one thing. Nothing working for you. Some of your people property, your parents finish that you're supposed to go take over what belongs to you. And you are just to a place, all in the name of addiction. Start blaming your witchcraft. Nobody wanting you. That's why you can say that my family people, they witchcraft in my family that allow them. The witchcraft behind you, it is because you don't want to allow it go. Look at my brother and I. My manager used to tell me, little people, you leave the ghetto, avoid the people. Some of you, when God bless you, you don't want to leave the friends. You know what I mean? Go not friendly. I know the day you see me be say hello. It's me, you're not friendly. The time we were compatible at that time, we were eating the same food. But you not expect my life to be like this. Yeah, I should leave them my totality Allah. My brother will live in a God destiny ahead of you. Some of you, when they get you pen and paper, you don't propon. You know your friend is subject agreement. You are sound. You from a family that is recognized. But then you allow people who will not get you future. Look at your life. Look at guest children. What kind of woman will know yourself? You're going to do you tell me? But you're in a team of trust. Sometimes you among the boys. My sister, you can wake up and the boys will see you and wake up. The body tired with you. Some of you in the ghetto. Oh, my brother, you were saying that there are people be crossing your mind every day. Look at how much she said she mother or son at Zogo. Look at how much she said she did or son at Zogo. We are here to encourage you. The people in America spending their money. They will carry you to Ria. You move to the Ria, you relapse. You smoke. Look at my life today. So when you are going out, you on screen, see this on screen, great, you let Coco by me. I don't think when you can't in the gutter, you looking for face. So the last thing when you after air with some first class Coco. So when you say them fighting Coco, when you see the rainbow them, the one that you stay here. But if we can play low, you're supposed to play low. Because when you not play low, you will not smell sweet. See the other piece of woman want any to sleep with. But see the sound some people are emo. I go in the ghetto men giving me seat before they were not giving me seat.
Okay, Tune to Spoon to be part of our discussion. Tune to Spoon to know what's happening in Liberia, what the policymakers are saying, to know what the happenings are across the country. Stone to Spoon, and I'd like to say welcome to all of you across the world. Those of you listening to us on the radio right now across Liberia, Spoon FM 107.5, Fabric Radio 101.1. The folks joining us from across the country on several other frequencies that are relaying this program. I want to appreciate all of you tonight. Thanks for joining us. My name is Nelson Colette. The late night show is live online. We're live on Spoon TV, Fabric TV, Super TV, and a host of other, and also on YouTube. And we want to say welcome. Thanks to all of you for joining us tonight as we talk Liberia, as we move on with this edition of the program. Last edition was great. Yes, we, as part of the weekend, brought on just a few of our ardent followers, and we're able to have a great conversation last evening. But it's a good thing that we're here tonight, and we want to appreciate all of you for joining us on this edition of the program. Please share the show as you come on tonight. It's going to be a great show, a spirited conversation coming up, a lot to talk about. So many things happening across Liberia. It's just very important that we talk about those issues. We bring you the analysis every single day. And, you know, as we do here always, we're going to afford you the time where you can also have your say on those different happenings here tonight. So welcome to the show. Let me go to the comment section and recognize our people here. I see my own Oma Marcia Snelling. She said, welcome to the show. It's good to have you on. Harry Do Tape Jr., thanks for joining us. Joseph Kema. Collie, we appreciate you. Collie Cole. Collie, Cartley Cole. Thanks for coming on tonight. Hipko Kazi is here joining us. Alice Band is joining us tonight as well. I see a lot of you joining in. Constant the Blocker is here. EK Seaton, thanks for coming on tonight. Please share the show as you come on. Let's have a great conversation with a whole lot to talk about tonight. Liberia is that country that we all belong to, and we keep trying, we keep doing what we can, we keep talking, we keep making the analysis, and keep hoping for the best for our country. And it's not going to happen overnight. It's not an event. It's not like switching the lights on. You know, it's something that's going to happen gradually, and it's very important for all of us to form part of the process. You know, to get ourselves involved, play the respective roles well, to you know to get our country on the right path. So I'd like to welcome all of you tonight. Thanks for joining us. Masa Ricks coming on tonight. We appreciate you. Dukle Wule Wula. John Heenan and Christ Upper Room Church. Yes. And all of the folks joining us tonight, we appreciate you. And I want to say thanks for coming on tonight. Look, there's a whole lot to talk about tonight. A lot happening across the country. And it's just very important that we get the national discourse going on. Bulk of the conversation now is around the county sports meet, the national county sports meet. Liberians are divided most times, but sports is that thing that will bring us together. That in spite of the disagreements that people have had in the counties over the time, once it gets to this point about the county sports meet, people pull aside the differences and come together, to push their respective counties, looking forward to getting the trophy for the year. And so that's how important the event itself is. And We understand the president will be in Grand Cape County tomorrow, to kickstart the event from there. Yeah, and this at this stage, going around the different counties. Some counties are hosting other counties, and then thereafter, it's going to be ending up at the Samuel Kando Sports Complex. So yes, the National County Sports Meet is one event that has got a lot of people connected and is on. I want to put it that way. Is on. Is on. Well, the president of the Republic of Liberia, President Joseph Numa Boakai, was at the induction ceremony of the newly inducted University of Liberia president, Dr. Meprian, and he stressed a lot of things. Now, most of you are aware that there has been controversies, or there has been mixed views with respect to the appointment of the UL president. Some, disagreeing on the fact that the appointment is coming at a time when the country's highest institution of learning is faced with lots of challenges, and that she's not a Liberian national, and all of those different issues. Why there are others who hail this particular appointment on ground that we're about to see something new. She's coming in with her own flavor, her expertise, given her experience, and the different places that she's worked over the time, what she's coming to the table with. So the president was at that event yesterday, and he was calling for collective efforts to elevate the nation's university to international standards. That was the major call from the president. He wants everyone to rather support. He talked about the administration's support, unwavering commitment to addressing the challenges that the University of Liberia is faced with, underscoring the fact that the future of the country, the future leaders of the country deserve best learning environment as they prepare to compete globally. So the president went on to say that in order to bring this to reality, to make the University of Liberia the nation's pride, the administration, this administration, his government, is going to be committed fully to making that become a reality. And so those were the words of the president. He spoke about the following. He spoke of some areas that need some urgent interventions, like immediate renovation. And most of you are aware that there was a Spoon TV video live broadcast done at the different campuses of the University of Liberia, precisely the Capitol Hill campus and that of the Fendia campus. And one of the things that was captured and caught the attention of a lot of people across the world was the fact that the facility itself doesn't represent a state-owned university, a state-run university, or the highest institution, with filthy walls, very terrible latrine facilities across the campuses. The president outlined those things as areas that need some urgent intervention. So he spoke about the need for renovation across the campuses of the University of Liberia. And he also mentioned the issue of the payment of outstanding faculty arrears, and he gave instruction to the finance minister to act on that. And at the same time, he went on to deliver 2 new buses for the university's Stars St. J campus in Grand Cape Mount County. Now, those were just a few of the many things he touched on. But you want to go back a little to the whole faculty and the payment of the arrears that the president mentioned. That has been a long-standing issue there at the University of Liberia. When the teachers would put down their chalks, will abandon the classrooms, that has been primarily because of the whole issue of arrears. The faculty have raised that issue repeatedly, talking about the need for the arrears to be paid. Now, even during the previous administration and the administration before that administration, there were issues. There were times when that very faculty would sit with the government or the finance ministers. They will have conversations about how to address the issue. They will show them time, and in no time, you see them going back to the same situation about the arrears, their salaries not being paid. And then once they abandon the classrooms, the students will go on strike. They will start to protest, and causing some serious embarrassment. So the president mentioned his administration's commitment to addressing these issues as the first steps that will be taken to address some of the long-standing challenges at the University of Liberia. And most of you are aware that they are expected to officially start academic activities to open this academic year on the 13th of January. That's this coming Monday. And so those were issues that the president touched on. And the buses, some of the students going to that part of the country for school and all of that, to St. J and other parts, that has been the major concern. Commuting, we all know the challenges associated with transportation and all of that, and those were concerns. And the president was able to give to them 2 new buses to help with the transportation issues for the students there. And yes, so that is for the University of Liberia. All of this is happening, or all of this is geared towards the getting the University of Liberia elevating. It's geared towards elevating the state-run institution to international standards, where, according to the president, students of that institution can be able to compete globally. And that's part of the plan to give the newly inducted president the necessary support so as to get the institution moving forward. But beyond that, there has been concerns in Okay, so guys, thanks. I think that there was a break in. I'm glad that we're back on. So yes, I was just outlining some of the key issues the president outlined in some of his comments about the University of Liberia during the induction ceremony. But on the flip side, the issue of drug abuse has been and continue to be a major issue in the country. And there's a reason why I played that video from the very start of the show of a young lady who, one day I will bring Cindy on unexpectedly. Yeah, so there's a reason why I played that video from the very start of the show. A very talented young lady, commonly popularly known as Lady Piso, who at some point was in the ghetto. She was taken from there. She was being helped out, and thanks to her manager, who was able to see her potentials and took her out of the ghetto. And they now have this outreach initiative where they reach out to the different ghettos and stuff like that. And she made a video that has caught the attention of a lot of people, speaking to the young people in the ghettos and trying to encourage them, trying to motivate them to see the need. Okay, so I think Sandy is ready. Let me bring Sandy on. To see the need. Sandy, welcome to the show. It's good to have you on.
Thank you, Nelson. It's good to be here.
Oh, okay. I think I need to put this up. Okay, so can you hear me?
I can hear you. How you doing?
Yes, sir. I'm doing well.
Great. It's good to be here.
Yes, exactly. And so I was just giving some updates. It's a good thing that you've joined us. But talking about the issue of the drug situation in the country, it continues to remain a major challenge. And just today, there was a video done by a young lady. I believe some of you must have seen the video, who herself was in the ghetto before, but now is more like an ambassador going out there to encourage the young people to see the need to leave the ghettos. Yes, addiction is difficult, but she was telling them that, look, if I could get over it, if I could overcome the addiction and what have you, and though I was in the ghetto, but now I'm transformed, you can do it. You have potential. Some of you in the ghettos, you're very smart. Your subject and verb agrees more like, or to a larger extent. And yes, you can do better if you were to just see the need to get over your addictions and be a better person in society. But you need to make the decision. So she was encouraging those young people out there in the ghetto and all of that. And that then took my mind back, Cindy, to the whole conversation we've been having about the drug situation in the country. Is it getting better? Is it getting worse? Or are we still in the same position? Okay, so let's put it this way. It's been 1 year down the line talking about this administration with respect to the drug situation. And you want to go back to some of the strong comments, the strong statements that were made with respect to the fight against drugs, what needs to be done, how the previous administration failed. And to some extent, I think politics should even be aside, because this is something that's affecting bulk of our young people out there. But you want to go back to all of what was being said yesterday, the expectation, the anticipation of Liberians, even the very people in the ghetto, comparing it to what we have now. And even after the president took a drug test, after some lawmakers, the likes of Senator Darius, they decided to push for a drug test to be a prerequisite for public officials taking public offices. Well, the debate started from there. The question as to whether or not that is even applicable. All of those things went on. But Have we made any progress after that? A task force was set up, about this whole drug situation. And to some extent, thousands of young people's lives are being endangered. And they are currently in the ghetto even as we speak. They're sleeping in the graves. They're sleeping among the dead bodies. They're sleeping in the graveyards. Or should we say that this is a global issue? This is not unique to Liberia. And so, yes, let's just allow it flow and see what happens. Is it too early to say that the hopes of those parents who have their children in the ghettos have been dashed? Is it too early to say that those young people in the ghetto with so many potentials have been left in the cold? And this is a major issue, and I'm looking forward to us touching on this as well. But Cindy, you can go ahead. Let's hear what's on your mind, your opening firstly, before we move into the conversation tonight.
Well, Nelson, good evening from my end. And to those watching or listening to us, good evening from my end. Nelson, I mean, the issue of UL, is one of the topics we're going to talk about tonight. So I'm looking forward to really getting into that discussion again. I'm happy to hear that the president is making some promises in that area. I am just looking forward to discussing, what we have here tonight. I think there's so much going on in the country. Sometimes, it's very difficult to even keep up with what's happening. But there's so much going on. When you wake up in the morning, there's so much happening in Liberia. I would just hope that this administration, now about to enter the second year, will really start to tackle or address some of the most important things. I think we need to start to set our priority so that Liberians can start to feel the impacts of their government. They can start to benefit from their country. I know President Bouaké can do everything, but President Bouaké promised to do certain things. And we hope now that we are entering the second year. His administration has been set up. The first year is complete. We have tested the water. But this second year will now bring in some sort of actions addressing some of the things that he promised to address during the campaign. So Nelson, I look forward to a great show.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Cindy. And obviously, the first year is coming to an end. What's in it for the second year? What does the writing on the wall look like for the second year? And that's something that Liberians will obviously or are obviously looking forward to, and that's very important to stay. But I want us to start a conversation here with the UL, and we're gonna go to the drug situation and all of that, because it's even concerning. Okay, so we had AB Krumah, Colonel AB Krumah, at the LDEA at some point. Sandy, you know that, you remember, and Fadika and all of that. And in a few months, we know what we saw with respect to the fight against drugs. We know the energy, we know the enthusiasm, the professionalism, and the attention that was given to the fight against drugs and all of those different things. Yes, we know what we saw. But where are we now? After those folks were kept for so months under suspension, and after that they were being fired. Yes, a new leadership is now at the LDEA. What's happening with LDEA? It's so we're going to go to that discussion, but let's start with the University of Liberia, which is very important. Family, you want to remove your stuff, man. We want to see, the people want to see your face, everything, yeah, let's see your face, and yeah, let's see. We know it's cool in your states, but yeah. But family, welcome to the show. It's good to have you on. The man who took offense in me calling his party what did I say? Controversial. It's like those serious offense in me calling
You almost there. You can call back calling everybody embarrassment. So everybody is embarrassment to the country. So
yeah.
yeah, thank you
I
very
just
much, Nelson, for the show, and I'm happy to be here every night to at least say one or two things to Liberian people.
yeah, it's a great thing that we are here tonight, and I want us to kickstart the conversation now with the University of Liberia. Now, it's a good thing that even you here, Fambole, you've been at that institution before. Yes,
I'm
you
alumni.
you're an alumni of the institution. You went through that wars, and you know what it means to be there. You know what the challenges were there at the time you know you were at the institution. But coming to where we are, the president was at the induction ceremony of the new president of the University of Liberia, and he said a whole lot. His speech captured so many issues, but key among those things, the president went on to say that he wants the University of Liberia, which happens to be that place where the future leaders are prepared, to be up to international standard, an institution whose graduates will be able to compete globally. And the president came across as that person who was very passionate about what he was talking about when he said, in fact, as we speak, there are a few areas that are of urgent concentration. He went on to talk about just three things that he outlined of the many things. Number one, he spoke about the need for an immediate renovation of the University of Liberia campuses across the 4 campuses of the University of Liberia, for the places to be renovated. Now, and he gave the go ahead to the folks, the team there, and in any case, the public works minister and all of those people to renovate the facilities, not just painting the walls, because a lot of you saw that we had a Spoon TV video that captured how filthy that particular University of Liberia campus was. The walls are filthy, the latrine facility is nothing to talk about, the environment is not even conducive, it doesn't represent a state-run university. He wanted to say that that's the first thing. The first major thing is immediate renovation. He spoke about payment of outstanding faculty arrears, giving instruction to the finance minister in this case to take swift action to ensure that the UL faculty that have been in constant engagement with every administration with respect to their salaries, to make sure that the salaries their arrears are paid. And then he went on to give 2 buses to the Sinje, college for transportation for the students. But I mean, what's coming from the president now, Sandy? And I want us to start a conversation with you. I mean, what's in the pipeline? What are we about to see with the University of Liberia? Is this anything new? Is there anything new happening here at this point? Okay, so maybe you want to go back a little when former Finance Minister Samuel Twe was sit with the UF Faculty Association and have a meeting with them and tell them that, look, your salaries and arrears and everything will be paid XYZ time. And then when the time comes, you see the people going back in the streets. And then they come back and, rearrange, renegotiate. At some point, the faculty was being accused of being political. With the new president at the institution, are we about to see anything different? Are we about to see a shift in the way things have been happening at the institution? Let's hear from you, Sandy. Let's start the conversation from there.
Look, Nelson, I cannot predict what the president would do. I cannot sit here and say that the president promises or the statement that he made, declaration for the university to be transformed, I can't sit here and say that those will not be fulfilled. I can only hope, I can only anticipate that we will see transformation. I agree with you. There has been frustration there given past experiences where the previous administration made some promises that were not fulfilled. But I do want to believe that President Bouaka is taking the right step in the right direction to transform not only the University of Liberia, but also the entire education sector in our country. The appointment of Dr. Mapayan at UL Nelson is welcoming. And the president seems to be very intentional about transforming that institution. Nelson, I always tell people that the government officials that are sending their children to places like Rwanda, for instance, for studies, I always remind them that having been to Rwanda several times and engaged with the learning institutions there, Rwanda as a country does not have better educators than Liberia. They don't have better instructors than Liberia. Our problem has always been that we have not made significant investment in our infrastructure. We have not made significant investment to improve the quality of our education. I would want to ask the president, I would want to encourage the president that moving forward, we should make significant investment in education. We should focus on improving the infrastructure. So now I heard they want to renovate UL. That's great. Not just the physical building, but infrastructure will also include the learning equipment that are needed for our folks to learn effectively. We also now need to focus on teacher training, Nelson. Most of our professors or instructors at those universities having been trained or having gotten proper teacher training for many years, or some of them have not gotten any training at all. We need to start to focus on periodic teacher training. And I really think we need to revisit the curriculum. What are we teaching the people? What are we focused on? Let us revisit the curriculum. With that level of investment, Nelson, I believe the UL and the entire education sector will improve. I also want to believe that the new president, given her connection outside of Liberia, will help Liberia to connect with international partners and international university. Let us start to network with international universities. So institutions like LU can be recognized, their curriculum can be recognized outside of Liberia. Nelson, is unfortunately, I tell you right now, if you graduate, if you are studying at LU, if you study, let's say, medicine, nursing, if you come to this country, for instance, they don't recognize it. You have to start all over. It happened to many of our brothers and sisters that are coming here with specialized degrees where they have to start all over. But once the curriculum is rebuilt, we start to link with other international universities. Our accreditation improves. People start to trust the education sector of Liberia. You make it easier for your students that are learning in Liberia and want to move to other parts of the world or want to visit other parts of the world. You make it easier for them. And even for those that are going to stay in Liberia, you give them better quality education.
You know, and this is very important, Sandy. I want us to go back on the aspect of the president's statement that has to do with the UF faculty. Are we about to see an end? Does this appear to be like an end to the long-standing issue that the UF faculty have had over the time. Now we're talking about arrears. He made a statement immediately, gave an instruction to the finance minister to take a swift action on the arrears that's already there for the faculty, because it's an arrear. The institution owes those faculty members, and in fact, it's because of this arrear thing that most times there will be an interruption of academic activity at the premises, let's say on the campuses of the institution.
Look, Nelson, before I address that, Humphrey, I want to thank you for your correction. I've had direct experience where individuals come here from UL or even AMEU that have to start all over. So you are right when you say the person needs to maybe know the process to evaluate their credentials. Maybe that's the step that some of those people are missing. But I can tell you, I've had direct experience. I know individuals that have to start all over. But thanks for that. That's a very good comment. Nelson, it is good that the president is asking the finance ministry to pay our instructors their arrear. Whatever is owed to them, pay it. Pay it. And moving forward, pay them on time. Pay them what is due them on time. We need to start to respect labor in Liberia. Most importantly, in the key areas, Nelson, I always say, healthcare, education, security, you don't want to mess with those areas. Now, if you don't pay an instructor, for instance, not only will he or she not be motivated to come to work and provide quality education, but when they come to work, they could actually now start to bribe. So now your students, instead of just going to school to focus on their education, they become the payer. They start to pay their instructors through bribery, corruption. For us to minimize that, let the government pay those instructors, professors on time, so they can focus on providing quality education to our students. That goes down to the police, to the security sectors, to the healthcare workers. If you fail to pay those people on time, they become more corrupt. To minimize corruption in those areas, pay the people what due them on time.
Thank you, Sandy. I want to hold you there. And Emmy, welcome to the show. It's good to have you on tonight. Fambole, let's hear your take on this.
Well, thank you very much, Nelson. And I think the University of Liberia is at a point where we all can just hope and pray that things gets better. If we all claim to love that country, this is about time that we elevate our positive energy to put our country first. I've always listened to the president. He has always said that working in government should be about service and not to enrich yourself. But many a times people think that when they come to government, it's about making their pocket huge and wearing all those pointed nose shoes and wearing all those flashy kosu and be going all around in town. But the actual thing about it is that the common people too put a lot of pressure on those people who work in government. The expectation that they give to those guys that are working in government. Once you are employed in government, even if you're making 150, you pass around your community, you do anything, say, my man, you're working in government. So you cannot live a common life with the people anymore. There is where the first seed of corruption is already planted. So our people have to change that mindset about putting too much expectation on government workers. The University of Liberia is at the crossroad. And at this point, we all welcome the appointment of Dr. Mampaya based on so many, reasons. One, I said to you that because of her international experiences and expertise, she will create a bridge between the University of Liberia and some of her counterparts outside to make the University of Liberia more competitive. The University of Liberia is one of Africa's oldest institutions. But if you go to the science complex, you will think that that place is a breeding place for animals. If you see some of the classroom, then those people who read agriculture, we refer to that as animal husbandry, the place where we raise and breed animals. You see the buildings. Those buildings have not been painted for years. That's why I was in the science building, we used to say we have those anti-equator equipment and anti-diluvian chemicals. We have compass in the laboratory, where in developed world, when you see Bunsen burner used in lab, I mean, we read the dry sciences. We were only taught to read and memorize things from books. Then when you have chance to travel, you see those little boys there in the Chinese lab teaching us. Some of our friends who went for masters, they were tutored by people as tall as their ages. The University of Liberia has everything that it takes to succeed. But there were people who are so blind in our university, the only thing they think about is to make their pocket huge, get a huge salary. We have all those presidents. I think they say they have about 9 vice presidents, my man. And all of them, when you see that salary, it's not easy. They have made the university so unattractive that none of their children can even go there. So now is the time that the government of Liberia, under the watchful eyes of the president, I like that part. The president say, finance minister, pay the people that are arrears. Go ahead, you do the renovation. You did the university a facelift, for God in heaven's sake. If the University of Liberia is up to that task, there's no point for people leaving Liberia to go to Ghana for education, going to Sierra Leone for education, going to neighboring country that Liberia helped. Even most of the countries you're talking about over there, those countries Liberia helped them in the independence process. And today, we look up to them for our people to go get masters and come back. Look at the teaching capacity of the teachers. Who do we have over there? We still have people who just graduated with bachelor degree coming back to the state university to teach people fighting to get bachelor degrees. We have people who the university sent to get a master's, they came back and they are complacent with their masters. They came in the teaching. But what other program are they doing to build up their own capacity? Because science is changing. You see, there is so much metamorphosis going on with the educational sector. Are our people advancing? Are they going on par? Are we on par with modern lectures? So all of these that the Mampire will have to consider all of that. We have to reevaluate some of those instructors. Some people, they go over there. When you even go listen to somebody, you go order some of their classes, you'll be like, what they got teaching here? So those people will have to be audited, and that just brings some new ideas. There are some people coming back with terminal degrees. They are very smart, intelligent. Evaluate them, like how Sandy said. Let's get teacher education. If you can get the credential, but you don't have the skill of teaching. Teaching is a whole different field. People, for somebody to be called a teacher is different. You can get a degree for something, but if you don't have that other part that has to do with imparting, it's a whole merry-go-round. So people will go there and take pamphlet and give it to a student. When they come there, they can't even explain what in that pamphlet. So we want a university to be on par with other universities. Like what Cindy said, I came to this country, I have my degree audited. It's not that you're going to start over. We're not going to start over. But it's that if they evaluate your degree, they're going to say, okay, we accept this one, we accept this, we accept this. But we have other required courses that you have to do. When you go see those required courses, almost like starting over. That's why my brother Sandy say almost like starting over. So they will tell you say we accept it. Yes, it's equivalent to a bachelor, yeah, but you still have required courses because certain courses you have to do to as an elective to taking some of their courses, it will almost be that you're starting over. So we don't want for you to come and get all those bucket things to take again. So let's bring the university up to standards so our people can go and get the best education. And the only thing that will make Liberia develop is when people are educated and they can compete on the national level and international level. And it will bring so many good ideas and the country will transform. Thank you, Nelson.
Well, thanks a lot, family. And this is very important, especially with the president saying, outlining the need for the renovation, the payment of staffers arrears, the faculty arrears, as urgent, are things that need to be done urgently, immediately. Are we about to see a change? Is this going to be a new dawn? Now, because all the other presidents we've had in time past have visited the University of Liberia. They've made comments at the University of Liberia. President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf on multiple occasions went at the University of Liberia. Former President George Weah, the same. In fact, he went there when there was this tension building up and everything. Former President George Weah went there. He said, look, I gave free tuition. And he broke the tension down. All the students were shocked that for the first time, they're about to experience free tuition at the state-run university. Now, in President Baka's own case, he's there and he's saying that, look, we will make sure that this institution will be to international standards and where our students can compete with people across the world, but if effectively pay the teachers arrears, renovate the campus. He gave two buses for students to get. I mean, let's hear your take on this issue. I mean, where exactly are we headed?
Thank you, Nelson. Hey guys. Nelson, I know you comparing speeches from several presidents, well, these two presidents down the line. I think, like my brother Cindy said, I'm hopeful. I'm not gonna sit here and say definitely this is what's about to happen and this, that, right? But Fumbler also pointed out that our people also are the problem sometimes. When the president talk about renovating the university and or they just thinking about just the buildings, is that what the students, the teachers, and everybody or people in the country are just thinking about? He just talking about the buildings and that's it. To me, I think renovation is from top to bottom, right? We may not call it renovation from the teachers and stuff like that, but I think that's looking into that as well. So, like Fabio also said that people, you got teachers there that are not supposed to be there as teachers, teaching university level and stuff like that. So, while we all welcoming this news, are the students and ordinary people gonna do the same? Because what if this renovation also include getting rid of people who are not supposed to be in those areas, right? That you want to make the university bring it to a standard that international level. International level does not include somebody who just graduated coming to teach a university student for bachelor. So while we doing all of this cleaning up, cleaning the building and cleaning the infrastructure, what about the human, will we accept all of that, or are we about to see they're taking food from people's table, they're doing this way, and is that what are we also about to hear that? Because as Liberians, I think we always complain about we want the best, we want this to happen. Oh, you've been closed, this one not happening. Now the president is taking action from his speech and from the appointment and all of that. Now this lady come in and she about to do her job. She doesn't look like someone who want to be political or who is going to get involved in that, politics, spotlight or whatever. But when she starts to do these things because to her standard, if you're teaching a university, there are certain standards you have to have. We all know to international standard and stuff. And she coming from that side of the world, right? And she went teacher training and all of this going on, and she finds out that this person is not supposed to be here, is not supposed to be doing it, and they go ahead and laying off all of these people and trying to clean the university from inside out, from the teachers to the building, from everything. Are we Liberians ready to accept that and embrace it? And not people because of my husband or my uncle or my brother was looking for a 1-2 there, and they do all of that. Oh, they want to move food from people's table. They laying people up. People are something. So that's something that's my concern at this point, right? If we are willing, we always say we want change, we want the best, but when it's trying to give us the best, nobody want to sacrifice. Nobody want to take what comes with the best. They just want the best on the platter, like microwave best, whatever. So that's my concern in the whole thing, Nelson.
You know, and that's a great concern because it requires a whole lot to get the country to the international standard that the president is talking about. Right. Yes, infrastructure, like you said, is one aspect. Yeah, we need to clean the buildings. All the kind of dry stuff that we saw on the videos in the premises of the University of Liberia needs to be cleaned, then inside out. So the people, some of the folks there, their current status will have to be downgraded a little bit based on what the international standard will require. If we are ready about it, that's a whole different conversation all by itself. Because I mean, come to think about it, even the infrastructure that most times we'll talk about, oh, we need infrastructure development. When development comes, people get affected. Homes will be broken down, and in the process, people will demonstrate, people will protest, and all of that. So, whether we're ready for this, that's another thing. But another thing we also have to take into consideration is the fact that environment, aside from just being academic, has been very political. It's been very political as well. And getting a new president who is apolitical, who doesn't have any political alignment, it's something that, you know, that is commendable on one end, but it's also something to look at. Is she in the position? Will she be able to face it? You know, cope with it, embrace it when it gets to the real that aspect where the real politics start to play.
I know where you're trying to go. Just go to the place you want to go.
That's a concern as well. Maybe you want to tell me on this.
This is what I'm. Let me on it. Nothing. This is where I was coming from too, because this lady might be making some drastic move, and what we might see some, like you said, politics being played out here. People will go to all people like, you know, students. Not, let's get this right from that. Not everybody in soup. There's soup y'all used to drink before. It's not a soup today, okay? A lot of soup are in the people's pockets. Let's be real about that, okay? So we shouldn't say a lot of soup in the people's pockets. I always say you can be hearing some of them. They're not just regular soup anymore, like back in the days. Let me just say that. Okay.
They are political soup.
They are political soup. Then in there, and what are the pepper in correct on it or whatever. But let's just be real. Some people will come and want to manipulate them, and because they don't want to see any good. And some people have already promised to make this government, even if they're doing any good things, they will want to do things to, you know, to make the ordinary people feel like this is something bad being done. So are we ready for this, you know, this mass renovation that we all asking for? I think it is very good for the university. But for our people mindset in our country, like they just want banners over things. They just want to ban it over things. They don't want to, like, you know, clean it up and before they pull ban it on it and something.
Yeah,
like
and
that.
see,
Women not being involved in any politics. They will want to make it look because the president appointed her. She doing this, she doing that, she doing this, and I'm also worried about that.
Yeah.
On that note, Emmy and Nelson, Look, it is very unrealistic for people to think that Dr. Mampanya going to come to the University of Liberia, who for ages have been kept in that state, to rapidly change the university in a twinkle of an eye. That is very, very unreal. It is delusional. Nobody in a sound mind should sit and think that she's going to do that in a space in a short period of time.
Family, I want to interrupt you a bit. When the president visits the university campus, or when he goes at the induction program and he says, "Look, we are going to give your administration as president of the University of Liberia the necessary support to bring this university to international standard." All right? When the president makes those kinds of pronouncements and even start to immediately identify things that needs to be done now and giving instruction to the public works minister, to the finance minister to start to address things, give two bosses, then an expectation is built already.
Yeah.
Right?
So for that,
So yes, someone on the other end may say, okay, yes, family, what you're saying is true. Yes, it will not happen overnight, but there's an expectation. What posture would the current UL president have to put on to bring about the kind of changes that will match the expectation that's already been built?
So the first thing here we have to take into consideration is that she has the full support of the president. And before Dr. Mampanya could take over, there was a committee set up to evaluate the main problem of the university. That's the reason why it took the university time to reopen. President Bouaka, in his wisdom, was not rushing to open the university based on the pressure the other people were saying from across the road, saying, oh, imagine since he became president, the university been closed. He did not bow down to that pressure. Instead, he was sitting and listening to counsel about the major problem of the university. And the problem of the university is deeply rooted in not only the infrastructure, but also logistics, also manpower. The university has so many people who were aging and they were facing retirement, some of them leaving the stage, some of them wanting to stay teaching until they die. There were so many things going on at that university, Nelson. So the president was listening to the consultation, you were listening to the council, and you were asking questions and demanding
I want
answers.
to ask this question just before we move to Sandy because we need a transition. What posture? What kind of boost the current president will have to wear to bring about the kind of change or changes that aligns with the expectation that's already been built? Already there's this, I mean, it's already in the public that yes, she's international. She comes from a place that not just local. I mean, she comes with expertise and all of that. She's been here, she's been there. On the flip side, the president has given his fullest support and also stated how he expects things to be, and that they're going to give the support towards that. What do you think?
So
as an
I think that's a brilliant one. I think Dr. Mampanya has a plan, and that plan has already been briefed. She already briefed that with the president and the board of trustee. So that going to work hand in hand with the consistency of what she actually aspire to bring the university to, and engaging, having engagement with all of those who, it almost like we say, all hands on deck. Right now, yesterday you said, oh, the student vacation party endorsed her appointment, and that's a welcoming step. For that alone, they have been the one that propagating the argument that the university is backward, that the people, the ordinary people whose children are the direct benefactor of the education that the university offer, they are the one who are directly affected if the university does not open. So they came up front and they said, we endorse this woman because we believe that from her record, from her experiences, we know that she can transform the university. So with that in mind, We are only talking to them because I know she's going to engage the student community. She already have meetings with student leaders to also know what's also affecting them, because they are seeing the problem in the university. So you have the student leadership she's going to meet with them to tell her what's their plan, and she's going to explain her plan to them, and the step-by-step way they can do it to solve the problem. That problem will not be solved instantly, but I know that she has a plan, and the president can back her plan. Thank you.
Thank you. We're about to transition now, but Emmy, can you jot down your thoughts? Let's bring Cindy in. Then right after you, we transition.
No, it was just want to be quick. But,
Go ahead, Emmy. I can come after her.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, the question that you asked, what posture she had to put on or what kind of? I think she had to wear bulletproof. That's what I think, and not. I mean, words prove that. That's what I mean, and not pay attention to the noise in the market, because it will come at her. There will be opposition. Will there be something bad that she's doing? No.
Lower whichever music is playing, copyright issues. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We really don't want
to my prayer music. Sorry. Go ahead.
That prayer time.
Look, Nelson. Dr. Mapaya has been around Liberia for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
She knows how Liberians operate. She knows the unnecessary politics that tend to cover everything in the country. So she knows Liberia very well. Dr. Mapaya has nothing to lose but to serve the Liberian people. Go there, take the necessary actions needed to transform the UL. Do not listen to the noise in the market. The opposition will come. They will want to interfere with the process. But you have nothing to lose but to serve the Liberian people. President Boakai also.
Is it that easy? Is it that easy?
Nelson, if you have the backing of the president, of the government, it should be easy. It should be doable.
Yes,
it
sir.
should be achievable.
Yes, sir.
With the backing of the president, she can achieve her desires and goal to transform the UL. President Boakai also, we always say that he has nothing to lose apart from serving the Liberian people. So you don't have to be necessarily liked to do the right thing. You don't have to be loved to do the right thing. If the UL will be your legacy, President Boakai, let it be your legacy. Let people remember many years from now that it was because of Joseph Yuma Boakai that the UL is now respected and recognized internationally. So, and I think that's the direction the president is going with. He ignored the noise in the market that said, "Une hire Liberian, une hire Liberian." He ignored that noise and hired an experienced professional that has no political affiliation. That's ignoring the noise in the market. Now continue on that by providing the necessary resources needed to transform that institution. Nelson, let the UL be respected again. People go to school and all we see is the chaos, and our brothers and sisters are being used by government officials to sing slogans behind them, to fight for them. That's not what our brothers and sisters go out there for. They go out there with the intention to learn. But because of the current condition on the campus, because of the lack of resources on that campus, because of the terrible environmental condition of the campus, that's why you find our young people, following politicians. Dr. Mapaya, you have nothing to lose but to serve the people. Close your eyes and your ears on the noise in the market and serve the Liberian people. Fire those that need to be fired. Train those that need to be trained. Reach out to the international community. Partner with people. Bring volunteer instructors. Now, there are plenty of retired college instructors sitting everywhere in the United States that just want the opportunity to go serve. Or they don't want a big salary. They just want to go somewhere, provide them place to stay, and they can come and help with that institution. Other countries are doing it. We are not limited to just our own people. Liberia is part of the global community. Let us reach out and ask for help. I believe with Dr. Mapaya's connection to the outside world, she will reach out for help, and the UL will be transformed. It's a new day for our brothers and sisters attending that university. I'm excited to see what's going to be happening in the next few months.
Thank you, Cindy, and this is very important. I want us to transition now to this whole thing about drugs in our country. It's a serious issue. Almost every household in the country is being affected by this drug situation. Families have lost or are losing very potential sons and daughters to drug addiction. And the sad thing about this is that those very potential young men, some of whom their families have invested a whole lot in to become better persons. Some of them are university dropouts. Some of them are university graduates. Some of them are high school graduates. Some of them have vocational skills and all of that. So the issue of vocational education, university education, all of those things is not part of the conversation, because some of them have all of those education and stuff like that, but yet they find themselves living in the ghettos, sleeping in the graveyards, with swelling foot on the dump sites, looking for old iron just to sell and be able to support their habits. And this is concerning. You want to go back a little. In June, let's go back to January. On the 22nd of January, the president was inaugurated. On the 29th of January, 2024, the president declared drug abuse a public health emergency in the country. And he announced a steering committee to tackle the issue of drugs. He said it was an existential threat to the country, talking about the proliferation of drugs across the country. Well, then we saw A.B. Krumah and Fadiga, who were then appointed at the institution. Long story short, fighting and stuff like that. But in fact, when those two men were at the LDEA, we saw the energy. We saw the consistent, fight against drugs, the drug raid and everything across the country. The ghettos and the operators of those ghettos were not at ease when they heard LDA or when they heard A.B. Krumah coming or Fadiga coming. It became something that was visible. And then in no time, long story short, there's a fight, they're suspended and everything. The president makes a decision finally to have a new team at the LDA. In September, maybe you want to go back to June of 2023. That was before the election. The president, even at the time, was concerned about the proliferation of drugs in the country. Now, after, or let's say before inauguration, there were conversations in the corridor about the need for a drug test to be a prerequisite for public officials. Senator DeLone and some of those lawmakers were pushing that issue. But now, 1 year after, or close to a year after, where exactly are we? Where is the steering committee, that was set up to tackle this national emergency? Just today, there was a video made by a young lady who was once there, and she was being, rescued by her manager, and she's now transformed. She's more like an ambassador, going out there speaking to the young people in the ghetto, and she was out there today, and that video was very inspiring, encouraging those young people to see reason to make the tough decision to overcome their addiction. But in all of this, what exactly is the role of the government? How much of a progress have we made with respect to the fight against drugs? Is there any hope? Is it too early to say that the hopes of some of those young people in the ghettos, some of those parents who have their kids in the ghettos, is it too early to say that their hopes have been dashed? I mean, I want us to start the conversation from here, and let's start with you, Fumble, and then we're gonna move to Sandy. You are muted. Okay.
Look, Nelson, Liberia problem has always been Liberians. We saw from the inception, for some of us, when we saw A.B. Kromah being named as the LDEA boss, we were so excited, beyond all reasonable doubt, that he was going to come to this entity and bring a robust change. And we felt that from his initial actions, those actions he started taking, catching those cartel, those bosses, those guys who were bringing the drugs in, he was arresting them. And every day we see video, we're so excited. We say, this is the redemption that we wanted. But when we look deep, we saw there was some other things that were under that was going on. And Liberia, people say you can meet somebody with food, then you can meet them with news. That those guys were just doing that as a mere charade. You will see A.B. Kromah saying, "Oh, I use my own money to run after these guys then. No money from the government." But how were they reporting those drugs that they were seizing from the guys then? The money when they bust the cartel. Who were they reporting those monies and those drugs they were taking from the guy? Who were they reporting them to? And that's beginning to raise suspicion. And the next thing we started seeing, Fatiga brothers, one of the Fatiga brothers got involved in a fight. And the true story came out that they were fighting over some illicit and drugs.
And that's unconfirmed up to now. And
that was the news that started. The news that started with the Liberian people. That's the news that we're going to get, because even when the president did his investigation, suspended them for time indefinite, and did his investigation, there was nobody from the angle of the government that came back to the people and explained the exact reason why the president dismissed them. So we know that the president let them go, but what left for the Liberian people was they were fighting over. Something. So I know it is it's not confirmed, but that is what I said over the Liberian people.
But again, family, the fact that we've not gotten to that point where we can independently verify the information, it remains an allegation.
Yeah, but
somebody can come up today and say, family, you were sitting very close to that microphone and talking in that microphone like that because you had something in there you wanted it to be keeping you up. Maybe I mean, the person can authenticate the information. So I mean, should we on a platform like they just run with that information? No.
So like what I said, after they were dismissed, not all rumor can be false. There are some truth can be inside, But let's just leave it at that.
But which one do you choose to be true and which one do you choose to be false?
No, I mean, I'm just saying what I heard with the Liberian people.
Okay.
I'm just quoting what I heard with the Liberian people.
Let's go back to this whole fight against drugs.
So now that they have a new boss, and I mean, just now should be a collective issue. I just want to talk about this issue about drugs and things. Look, our communities in Liberia, they are completely infested because there are people who think that there's one of the way to ill getting wealth is to sell drugs to the young people. There are mature people who are selling drugs, not only young people who selling it. There are people who are educated and they selling drugs. We have seen story of people in the presidential detail in the past was even escorting drugs. There are so many people in government who know how the drugs enter the country. Their hands are involved, and they just want to get rich at the detriment of the people. How is this helping us? This has retrogressed and just has the proclivity to wipe out an entire generation, because all the young people who drop in the swamp there, they are all future leaders. They are connected to families. You know how many mothers that are sitting out there crying on a daily basis because they have their sons who are selling a lapper? The other lady said, all her things, even packed up in her son sold all to do what with it, to go take drugs. Is that not something that some people even regretting why they even have to have children?
In the midst of all of those things, 1 year after, and I know these conversations were on the tables. Those were things we were talking about yesterday. We had these conversations. The discussion was very interesting. And there was this anticipation. There was this hope that yes, things would change. Is it too early to say that those expectations have not become a reality?
Anytime there's a change of government, people expect things to change. That is a fact. Because one thing that the Unity Party-led government pushed on during the campaign was on the mantra that they were going to make sure that they have a zero tolerance policy on drugs. Because we heard about all of the kush, the zombies, and all those guys turning into zombies, and they said that we were coming, they are coming. The Unity Party government is coming to fight against drugs. So the expectation of the Liberian people is that let's stop, and that the United Party government are going to come and stop the influx of drugs in the communities, and the children were going to have the access or the opportunity to get a rehab. How many rehab do we have? How many institutions, rehabilitation institution that was captured in the budget line? So these are questions that we're asking. What other effort is the government making to ensure that the proliferation of drugs or ghettos that is burning in every community now, even more than the churches? What is the government doing to make sure that this proliferation can come to a standstill?
Okay, I want to interrupt you there a bit, Family. Going back on your previous your previous comments, if what we saw with the fight that Abe Kramer and Fadiga took was just showmanship, according to you, just to create a small string to divert the attention of the people from the real issues, the real things that were going on, what then do you think, and how do you think this current leadership at the LDEA should be able to tackle the issue of drugs? If all we saw on camera, the raid, going after those people, breaking down the ghettos, getting those guys off the street, if all of those things we saw, according to you, were just for the show of the camera, what can we say about the current leadership at the LDA? Now, it's been over 1 month, very close to 2 months. The current leadership there got appointed in November. Now, November has come and gone. December is already done. We're going pretty close to the middle of January. 2 months or so. What can we say about the current leadership at the LDA? If not for the camera, not for the showmanship, not for going after those people, breaking down the ghettos, the raid, what can we say?
So right now, all we can say to the new leadership that came on board, that the Liberian people needs action and they need it now. What they should be doing is not about just sitting around or just going after the ghettos or going. The first thing they should do in the fight of drugs is to set up a rehabilitation center or rehab setting. You have to get institution. If the government, I don't know how many rehab institutions the government has, but the government can also subsidize other private rehab center that they can send people to. It's not only just to take the people from in the ghetto. Where you going to take them and to prepare them again, clean the system and bring them back and make them profitable to the society? Because this is the problem. People going to the rehab, the people don't even get medication, they don't have food, they don't have other skills that they are keeping them busy with, because they say an idle mind is the devil workshop. If you take people from in the ghetto and you take them to a rehab, you are not giving them the right treatment, you're not giving them the right skill that when they come back they can make use of that skill to make themselves profitable to society. They will go back to being a liability. And this is the problem. Withdrawal from drugs, just withdrawal is dangerous than even taking the drugs. When you're taking somebody from on drugs, is that phase of withdrawal. That withdrawal phase is the phase where when you see them, the person even want to commit suicide, the person even want to kill themselves, the person even gets sicker than even when they were taking the drugs. So that part of the rehabilitation where they have to make sure that you give them what exactly they need to take the drug out of that system, and you give them a skill that they can live with, because many of the people have nothing to do. You take somebody from drugs, you're not giving them skill. What are they going to do again?
To some extent, I would disagree with that argument that some of those people, they don't have skills. Look, I have interacted personally.
I'm saying some of them are not being given skill. I'm not saying they don't have skill. They're not being given skill that are profitable to them. If you give somebody skill, you don't give them, like in Liberia, you teach somebody how to be a carpenter. If you don't give them hammer or give them basic tools, like say, okay, like how when they were doing the disarmament, they train some people and they give them after they train them, they give them skill and they give them material to go start that work with. Are they doing it now for people who they are rehabbing? No, they're not doing it. So if the person get a skill, the person not get the tools. What you expect them to get the money for to go get the tools from? That's what the problem is. That's what I'm saying. Somebody get skill, but they don't have the tools. Somebody don't have skill.
I want to hold you there. Let's bring Cindy in. Cindy, where have we?
Campaigning is different from running a government. When President Bouaka was running as president, he made a commitment to the Liberian people that he would address the issue of drugs, and that the issue of drugs was a major problem under President Weah, which it was and it still is a major problem today. Look, the great United States declared war on drugs many years ago, yet to win that war. I live in a city that is just 3 hours away from Mexico. And when you hear on news that U.S. is, building a big wall between the U.S. and Mexico, and they're always complaining because that's where most of that drugs come from. Right? I live in a city where, unfortunately, we are known as a drug town. There's a TV show I'm going to recommend you watch, Breaking Bad, was made right here in this town, speaking to the issue of drugs and how it's affecting the people in this country, especially in the area of New Mexico. I said this to say that if the great United States has not won that war on drugs that was declared many years ago, it speaks to the complexity of the fight against drugs. It's not an easy thing. So someone may say during their campaign time, we'll make sure that drugs is we're fighting, we're winning, we do this. It don't require that noise. You see, when AB then came and they start going to the different ghettos and showing the cameras and breaking things to energize the Liberian people. The drug law on the other side, the drug dealer on the other side are re-strategized. They are using your borders. In fact, I'm not making any accusation, but I can tell you, with the lack of security to our borders that we have, and the corruption we have to the entrance into Liberia, Nelson, to fight that drugs, you need to tighten your entrance to your country. Nelson, I have flew to Liberia. I have driven to Liberia. I have walked to Liberia. I walk from Ivory Coast through behind my house on a farm and enter Liberia. Nobody there to check me. I walk from Ivory Coast to the border. As soon as I got to Liberia, I say, yo, hello, how you doing? They say, oh, man, welcome. I get past. I flew to Liberia. I got to the airport. Instead of immigration checking me, they say,
Jeez, then you gonna expose us like that.
No, seriously, I'm being serious with you. I got to the airport. I got there. The immigration officer said, my son, where you bring for me? Instead of looking at my bag, my document. Nelson, this is a serious thing. Nelson, the toughest border that I have been through is the country Rwanda. They almost want to naked you. I'm serious. Whether it's through road, I drove from Uganda, Kampala, Uganda, to Rwanda. Nelson, when you got to the border, we got at 2 a.m. Those guys were still up checking everything one by one from your bag. How will you bring drugs to that country? I can easily bring a human hair from Africa to Liberia. Nobody will check it. We need to strengthen our border security. How do we do that? We also respect them, we empower them, we pay them. And we put in laws that are strong. But let me come back to President Boakai. I think he has not done as good as he promised in the campaign, during the campaign. I am not convinced that there is a strong plan under this administration to really tackle the issue of drugs in the country. I will urge them to really put in a strong plan, because you read on this as your campaign message. Our brothers and sisters are dying. They are dying. Nelson, poverty, mental health, social instability, causing a lot of young Liberians, not even young, some older people that lose their job, that don't have income, they are frustrated. They turn into drugs. It's so sad. Let me end with this very sad story. Two of my brothers, William and Uncle James, were buried on Central, 2003, back to back. Big brother William died. The one next to him, James, went to bury him in Morovia, left Grange, got sick, died. They buried them together. Two of their graves are home to drugs, to Zokos. We can't go there anymore to identify. That's not just my family story alone. That's a story now of many people in that country, where our Liberians, our brothers and sisters are hooked on drugs. They go dig those grave sites, use the bones to smoke, and even sleeping in the gravesite. No human should live like that. We really need to declare a war, and we need to be serious about it.
Thanks a lot, Cindy. We are gradually winding down on the show now. Alfred, I want to welcome you to the program. Thanks for joining us tonight. Emmy, you want to go first, or Alfred, or whichever? Then We take just few customer folks.
No, just a little. I don't have much to say after Sandy and family has spoken. It's just something that Sandy said, and it reminds me about how our country is so used to prioritizing people position over the protection of the country or something like that, should I say. Like Sandy was just an ordinary person, right? And that is being done to him. Oh, my son, welcome. Oh, what did you bring from me? But imagine a representative then who have been accused of bringing in drugs, who are using these poor people, young boys, to sell these things. And all we see authorities doing is cracking down on the let's say the victims, should I call them, but the people who are really bringing in these drugs. No one is saying anything to them. No one is doing anything to them. And this is from some a legend thing here, Mr. Fumbler. These are some of the stories we heard. Like another guy was trying to do this, and then the other guy was protecting that side. So it became a clash between the both of them. And until all of those can be addressed and stop, and not see any big man, small man, or because they mean a representative or he's a minister or all of this, and until we're really intentional about those stuff, and I really haven't seen it yet. So yeah, we still have long way to go. And the government, they, like Cindy said, they promised this in that campaign, and they really need to, show up and do something, because we're not seeing any change in there yet.
Thank you. Alfred, you want to take us to the phone lines?
Yes, quickly. I've been following the show in the back. So yes, I'm quite cognizant of what the conversation is about tonight. But Nelson, I repeatedly said on this show that Liberia lacks individuals or leaders with vision. All right. We always respond to knee-jerk reactions. We are always in a knee-jerk reaction mood. Every president that come, every leadership that come, they create this atmosphere that they are very serious about business. But after the labyrinth 7 days or 1 week, you don't hear about it again. This president, look, Nelson, over the last 20 years or so, we created an imperial presidency. The power of the presidency in Liberia is so strong that once the president wants things to be done, I mean, a president that have intention of wanting to see something done, it is done. We don't have a legislature that is strong. We don't have a judiciary that is strong. We have a strong presidency. That is the reason why you see things are going on the way it's going on in Liberia. If we have a very strong leader with vision, Nelson, you and I will not be sitting here and be talking about, the lapses in the government. Rather, we'll be talking about the gains that the government has made. This president is on record of declaring George as public enemy. This president is on record of setting up an emergency team led by the LDA. I remember the president named the Minister of Education, Justice, Minister of Health, and the LDA. Subsequent to that, he added the armed forces of Liberia on the issue of drugs. What happened to that committee? That committee had never had any press conference as it relates to the strategic plan put in place for the 6 years that they will be in power for. My brother Formula mentioned about institutions that the government can subsidize. Look, my brother, Liberia is in a bad place. It breaks my heart. All of us are affected by this issue of drugs. My brother, it's right now at Zogo. It's sad to say, but that is the reality. So we can come here and talk about it all we want. If we don't have a president or leadership that has vision, everything else in the country will continue to crumble, because our major our major problem in this country is the issue of corruption. Every fabric of our country is infested by corruption. Everybody wants to get rich quick. Everybody wants to have it all to themselves and leaving out the bigger picture, which is the country. Because when you thrive, if everybody thrive, the country thrives. But if you have just few of us who just think that we can just come to the government, government has become this big elephant meat. Everybody wants to come into the government because once you leave the government, you are settled. Your life is settled for life. And President Boakai, I will continue to say he's no different. He has not made any effort to be different from all the other presidents that came before him. I look forward to the day that we'll have a strong leader, that when he speaks, the country moves. I look forward to that day. Thank you, Nelson.
Well, thanks a lot, Alfred. We want to go to the phone lines and take just a few calls, and then we'll be out. 0555-101075 is the number to call. And I'm going to put the WhatsApp up as well for our folks to call in. Let's hear what your thoughts are. You can call in now and share your thoughts on the conversation here tonight. 0555-101075. And you can also call via WhatsApp. Let me try to get... Okay, so the WhatsApp number is up. You can call via WhatsApp and have your say. Let's take our first caller here. Hello? Your name and where you calling from? Oh, too bad we lost that person. 0555-101075 is the number to call, and you'll be live on the program tonight. Let's see if we can get this person. Hello? Hello? Okay, we lost that person. Let's see if we get this one. Hello? Well, something is not right with our lines. Again, you can keep your calls coming through 0555 101075. That's the number. We keep missing out. Okay, so let's get this one. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, morning. You're live. Your name and where you joining us from? Hello?
Hello, Nelson. Good morning.
Good morning. You are live. Let's hear your name and where you joining us from.
Okay, my name is Charles Delan, and I'm from Israel.
Charles, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I just want to speak on the president of the University of Liberia. As you directly said, she needed to be focused. This woman is strange. She didn't know nobody in Liberia. Maybe she became in Liberia. As you learn, she been at the University of Liberia since 2010. But she don't have to listen to the Liberia way of doing things. Or the woman, she not Liberian. No. Let her be focused on the University of Liberia because we get a lot to do next thing. I'm a student of the University of Liberia reading civil engineering. But while we learning now, only theory. 99% is theory, no practical. We just learn all the book whole day. But when you ask one student to do some calculation, that's even when you bring it together on the field to help you, you know nothing. I'm a student of the University of Liberia. I'm Charles Hill. I'm telling you, I'm on the campus. We get a lot to do, brother. Lot to do. So let her focus. Let her put herself in the right place to do the best for the Liberian people, and let President Boakai give all the full support that will be recognized again in the world. Look, listen, it's disgraceful to say people used to come in Liberia to learn, and now Liberians are going out to learn. If you check your 20 university in West Africa, Liberian there, when you go to 200 Liberian there,
Look, in fact, I was somewhere when someone brought the conversation about first 200 universities. Let's say first 200 universities in Africa.
We are not there.
We're
not there, Nancy.
Liberia sat at 460 something.
You see it? So, you see how disgraceful it is? A country that people used to come learn.
460 something.
A country that Ghanaian used to come learn. Nigerian used to come here to learn. We are nowhere today. So let the new president do her best.
Thank you.
I mean, Thank you for the show, Nelson.
Thanks a lot. We appreciate you. Let's take this call. Hello, from the WhatsApp line. Let's hear you. Okay, Tommy, go ahead.
Hi to everyone on the panel. Good to see my sister Emmy. But I just want to say this. Listen, I've called on the show multiple times and I've talked about this drug use, substance abuse issue. It's something that's very close to my heart. Look, like Alfred said, the government has been poor in addressing this issue. Extremely poor. They created a task force. We have not received or heard a single press conference, not a single data, no information about the work of the task force. It's been about a year or so. In Liberia, our only fight against drug use is the punitive side of things. Every time we hear the fight against substance abuse is about LDEA. The fight against substance abuse is a multifaceted type of fight. You know, we have to incorporate education into that. Prevention is such a pivotal part, but in Liberia, we ignore that. The youth involvement is also very pivotal in the fight against substance use. Look, until we can see the government really do a good job and start involving these community leaders, there's nothing else they can tell us. They're simply telling us that they're not ready to fight this pandemic that is eventually going to take over our country. Thank you for your time, Nelson.
Thank you very much for your input tonight. 0555-101075. Hello? Hello? We lost that person. Let's see if we can go back to this line and get another call from here. Oh wow, I don't know why the calls keep dropping. Okay, so let's come back to the WhatsApp and take this person. Hello, you're live.
Yeah, good evening, Nancy, and good evening to your panelists. My name is John Fireman. I do join the conversation from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay. Thank you, John.
Nancy, standing for the river. My first time I ever traveled to Liberia was 2021 when I went to Dubai. Nancy, for me to because at the time I was carrying a full toboggan in the suitcase.
My man, y'all like bring people y'all can do something. Why you go put toboggan oil in the suitcase to carry to the people country for? Why you want to do a toboggan in Dubai?
No, quite a beast toboggan, man.
We scared the suitcase. The web guy said there is something in the suitcase that we think. Nearly the people nearly making me to stay my whole body. But then 2022, when I went back to Liberia, before I put 2 suitcases down, before I put it down, right on the immigration report, they even started charging me, telling me how the last person and all this about it. You go up on the father. You get $20, you can't pass for this suitcase.
Wow.
Hey, Martin, the house compromised the airport there making it. So our brothers and sisters are just feel so sad and pity for them because our country is vulnerable to anything.
Thank you, my brother.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot
Thank
for
you
your
so
input.
much. Thank you so much for the show.
Yeah, you know what we're gonna.
Brother, no, we can all bring our toboggan oil.
Nelson, Nana, the people that brother said that's a serious thing. 2020, I was coming back. I brought my leg Kanya to Minneapolis airport. The men scattered my whole bed because you know the Kanya, the whole open get beat it. The oil, everything on the men thought I was drugs. So the men said I'm gonna eat the Kanya right there. They open the thing on the airport. I'm gonna eat it. I told them I said I'm fool. The men say they don't agree. I got to eat the Kanya on the airport for the people to believe that I was fool.
Let's squeeze in the final caller here. Hello.
Good morning. Good morning, Nelson, and say good morning to your panelists.
Yeah, go ahead, sir. You're live.
Okay, again, I'm Satama.
Okay.
And I want to speak to the issue of the fight of drugs as your panelists were making points. So there are some key things that we should have done before we declare actual war on drugs. One, we needed to publicize the dangers of drugs. Okay. Two, we needed to build a rehabilitation center. Because if you take those guys from there, the first other thing, like we can borrow from other countries. How they succeed? They have a treatment center first. We know people are taking for the ghetto, you treat them because if you look at the start of drugs to succeed, those people we see around called Zogo are victims. They are victims. So if you treat them, right after treating them, you take them to the rehabilitation center. The rehabilitation center, maybe some of them will choose career. Then before we get ready to take them from there, there should be a program that all of them walk away so that they can be integrated. But I don't care how much we do real today. In as much we have not had that program in place, trust me, those guys will still go back.
Thank you.
So the new administration that being instituted at the Liberia Drugs Enforcement Agency, they should first prioritize publicity. Go to the various schools, have a program, speak the danger of drugs. While the government is finding resources to build a rehabilitation center, that rate could be the last option.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
That's what I think we can do to succeed.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thanks a lot for your input. We'll have to close from here now. Let's start with you, Alfred. You're closing. 1 minute, sir.
Yeah. I saw in the comment section one of our follower was kind of arguing with me when I talk about having a leader, a bold leader. I was not necessarily saying that we should have a strong man. In as much as we want to have strong institutions, we also need to have strong men with strong vision. A case in point, it's all around Africa. Look at Ghana today that we're talking about. Ghana in the early 90s had strong men like Jerry Rawlings. Jerry Rawlings was not only strong, but he was a man that has vision. And today, what he did in Ghana, in terms of building those institutions and really a country with a vision, today, all of us we are talking about Ghana. Every other president that came after Jerry Rawlings plowed the map on the old map. Today, Ghana is to a place where we all are proud of. When you talk about African development, the first country you will talk about in West Africa will be Ghana, where they have had strong institutions, and it's working for the people. So that's what I meant when I said we need to have people with vision in the country, especially where we have created this situation where the presidency has become so powerful to the extent that nothing else can happen or nothing else can move when the president is not in it. See what's happening at the Capitol building. If this president has spoken to the Liberian people and said, look, I am not interested in what is going on, trust me, all that nonsense that's going on, burning down the Capitol building was not going to happen. But the president endorsed it. He thinks that when he have a speaker that he can control, he will deliver Liberia miraculously. And that is not true. That is not true. The Constitution was not meant for people to come and move speaker. It was meant for us to work together irrespective of our different political ideologies. That's what the Constitution spoke about. That if you want to move someone that you elect, you must wait for the election time. That's what it is. But everything that's happening in the country, the president, Joseph Boakai, especially this new administration that we have brought to power. In fact, Nelson, let me say this. There is no such thing as arrest or rescue. There is a such thing as recovery. Ask me what you mean by recovery. Recovery is not in the sense of delivering the Liberian people. Recovery is in the context of those guys that were in government and they never got what they're supposed to have gotten. They have come back to recover. And trust me, I'm saying this today. Joe Boakai government will be one of the worst government that Liberia has ever seen if the president does not step up to the plate. I am gradually losing this so-called optimism.
We rebuke that in Jesus' name.
This so-called optimism.
Come on. I
am gradually losing. I am gradually losing this so-called optimism that Joseph Boakai will do something for this country. Because what we hear every day that's happening in the country, it tells me that the president is not in charge, he's not in control, and I don't believe that he's going to deliver for the Liberian people.
Thank you. I want to hold you there, Alfred. Thanks a lot for your closing. Let's take Fambole. Fambole, go ahead.
So, Nelson, thank you very much. What a great show we have tonight. And you know, I always like to let me close with this. In the age of enlightenment, the French mathematician and philosopher René Descartes, he said, "Cogito ergo sum." When translated into English, he said, "I think, therefore I am." Anyhow, you see people think. That's why even the Bible says, "As a man thinketh, so he is." Look, our thinking in Liberia has to change if change must come to Liberia. And if we continue to dwell on the negativity, nothing good will come to our country. People always speaking negative of Liberia. People always speak negative of the presidency. People always speak negative of everything. It is better we look at the positive and say, this positive, at least there's some beacon of hope. You cannot stay in America and tell people in Liberia, say, nothing going in our country, and you on the side, you get your own a little bit. Encourage them who are already there in trouble, give them little hope, and don't break them down. The people already down, don't bring them down further. So the University of Liberia will succeed. The new president will succeed, and everyone around her pull hands together, like how the president said he will give her his full support. And once she gets support, the president is the voice of the people, because they said the voice of the people is the voice of God. The people said, President Boakai, we agree that you will win. So he said, "Oh, Mama, I will support you and make sure you change the university." That good news. Then come to the just and substance abuse. They just and substance abuse that everybody think, because every household in Liberia is affected. And the issue of corruption that have eaten everything, man, corruption is so much until everywhere you go, there is corruption. In the classroom, there is corruption. In the police, there is corruption. In health, there is corruption. There were times that you could see on the hospital wall, we do not, all services here are free, but yet still they'll be telling you, say, if you pay that small thing, the midwife will tell you, say, you won't ready for you here. Everywhere the corruption is there. So corruption is the source of everything that is happening. So the people who are supposed to stop the drugs, they're taking the drugs and they sending it back to the men, sending it, taking the money. So the guys are getting rich. You put the man in the man happy. It's time for service, put country first, and let them forget about it. Too much of eating, chopping. Everybody want chop, my people. Let it they chopping Benin. They chopping and spoil the country and won't go nowhere with they chopping Benin. Thank you, Nelson.
Sandy?
So all the talking you talk, you close to what I say. We ain't go nowhere with the country.
I mean, at least I say some positive things that the country can get better.
Sandy, please.
In my capacity as a healthcare administrator, I do not necessarily celebrate success. I focus on fleshing out opportunities. In healthcare, when we say opportunities, those are things that are not being done that we want to see done. We are not here to praise President Boakai when he built road. We are not here to sing him praises when there are electricity. We are not here to sing him praises on all the good things he's doing. That's his responsibility. That's why we elected him. But we are here to point out things that he promised he would do that he is not doing. Those are not, these are opportunities that we believe that when we point them out, he will listen and address them. That's our role. So I will not use my brother Alfred when I say nothing good will come out of this administration, because I'm very hopeful that good things will come out. But the trajectory that we are seeing, my brother, is frustrating. We expect that at this time, the issue of wasteful spending, corruption. These things will be things that President Obama will be hands on. We said that Babe have nothing, absolutely nothing to lose. He's not going to come back for second term. So address the issue of corruption. Fight it to the bone. So that when you leave tomorrow, we say, yeah, it was Bwaka that addressed this thing. But I believe that President Bwaka will transform the UL. I believe, I'm very optimistic. In fact, if there is nothing else President Bwaka achieved, I believe that he will achieve this one thing, that our brothers and sisters attending that institution will have a better, well-equipped learning environment to learn. I always say, I am not better than any of those people over there on UL campus. None of you here are better than them. I mean, than those guys. And those people are smart. Nothing Liberians are smart. Yeah, they gave us everything. In lazy way, we learn it. Everything is on the computer. Everything you want is in the lab. You go there, you learn. Unless you saw the other call it bad, and the only way you can learn in this country. But it's so simple. But in Liberia, my brother, our brothers and sisters they don't have the tools, but still they still learn. Now get them the tools, get them the resources, and you will see the best out of them. They deserve nothing but the best. You just say our UL Liberia is 400 among the top universities in Africa. Do you know where most of the top universities are? South Africa, some in Eastern Africa, Northern Africa, and Liberia not even on the map on that one. We can get somewhere. I'm not saying we're going to hit the top 10 in the next 2 years or even before President Bwaka's term is over, but we can get somewhere. We can get somewhere, and the next person that will come after President Bwaka can continue. Now, see, the unfortunate part, the unfortunate thing in Liberia is that our government is not continuity. Do you guys notice that? Our government is not continuity in Liberia. If Nelson is president now, he starts something. Because Jalahu is against Nelson, he turned his back on it, he starts something else. A delayed progress, a delayed development. We need to continue where the other person stopped, and we need to build it on. But everyone will have their own project in their name. Manaseri project in her name. We are project in his name. Bwaka project in his name. We don't want to build on what Serif started. Bwaka don't want to build on what we are started. We need to think about how we want to rebuild our country in a different, innovative way. United Liberia, together as a country, one people, and let us think about that country. Liberia is our common denominator. We can sit in these Americas and say we are enjoying the hamburgers and the McDonald's here. At the end of the day, there is nowhere better than Liberia. I don't feel any better here than I feel when I enter Liberia. When I enter Liberia, it's a whole different spirit. Our people there deserve better. So I'm not giving up on President Bwaka. I'm hopeful that he will change in the second year. Lastly, on the issue of drugs, I'm also hopeful that things will change. Again, we need to strengthen our security. I don't care who you are. When you are entering Liberia, you must be properly checked. I don't care who you are. When you are entering Liberia, you must pass through the right security measure. The security folks stop asking for what you bring for your big brother, what you bring for your pa. Instead, focus on what the person can with, check them properly, issue them the right documents, and if they don't have the right documents, send them back. Until we can strengthen the security sector, Nelson, I don't think we will be fully able to fight the drugs in Liberia.
Thank you, Cindy. Finally, Emmy, you want to take us home?
Yes, thank you, Nelson. Welcome, Alfred. Fire burning, Alfred. Manage your expectation. I think you the one Senator Colin was talking to. So yeah, like everybody have already said, for our university, we are hopeful. We can't give up. We will be hopeful, and the trend that we see it on, like the only thing that needs to be done in that aspect is that our people need to be open minded. If you want to see good things, don't just want it the way you want it. You want to see good things. You don't know how to produce that good things. That's why they're bringing somebody from outside to help us. So you have to embrace what she has. She has a plan. I'm pretty sure of it. She's not just coming there because she want to show up. If she never had, she knows the challenges that the university had. I think she lists them out when she was giving her speech, right? So she knows those challenges and she has a plan to tackle them. We just have to be open minded. This whole thing about taking food from somebody's table or being witch hunted or because she moved the person or she did this person or the president knows about it because he's the president. We need to get away from all of that, right? The president cannot operate in every sector, in every areas of the country. That's why he have people that he come with, that he appoint. And when someone messing up, yeah, it is his responsibility to do something about that. But you can't just put it on him, especially a whole different branch of government, for goodness sake. How many times do we have to say this? Interrupting this. He interfering. He doesn't respect the rule of law. But you want him to interfere in another branch, a situation that is going on. That would be the rule of law to you. That is, I don't know. Is it hypocrisy or is it just talking from the two sides of our mouth? I don't understand it. Right? The president has to give these people that he appointed the chance to do their jobs. Yeah, if they're not doing it right, get rid of them, replace them. One thing I know is that corruption, he shouldn't even have, it should be zero tolerance because he already knows what corruption has taken our country over the years. That's the only thing I will hold on. Zero tolerance on that. But to say the only person that President Boaga has no power to fire is anybody sitting in a Capitol building. Whatever happiness is not his problem. We can all agree that president has power, president do this, president do that. But once that person try to impose his power, I swear to God, we the people that come here talking he should have done this, he should have said it, we would be the same old people holding him accountable that he interfered in another branch there and doing this and doing that. So we have to be serious and know what we want and start because we don't like it. So we hold the president away and do this and do that. That is wrong, and we need to stop making our people to believe the same civics that we always come in and preach about, that our people need to learn civics. You telling somebody that the president has the power to reprimand people in the legislature. You know that is not the truth. But you want people to learn that. People listening to you. But yes, still, we're telling them to learn civics, to know their rights, to do what is right, to start voting for beggar rights, to start voting for $25. And here we the same old people telling them this. We're confusing them. But anyway, I hope all of us will learn and move on from there. But the drugs part of everything, like we already said, the borders. My concern is the borders. I mean, the borders have to be tightened. The ones that are already in the country, is already there. But as long as open, like standing there being asked my son what he bring for me, and anybody can walk in and do that and do that. I mean, it would just be more coming in, and nothing is gonna. I don't care how many people you raise from what or rehabilitate them or not. It's still pouring in. There's nothing we can do about that unless they can tighten those areas, pay those people on time, pay them good, and then have a serious and strong law that if I catch anybody bribe, accepting bribe and doing this and not some, and then sometimes you just go as undercover and see what they would do. And when that happens, you fire them, you get rid of them. People will know that you are serious. But until that, my opinion, I don't think it's going to yield any results no matter what we do inside the country, as long those borders are still open and people are coming in and those so-called big hands and whatever are still coming in. I'm sorry. Liberia, we might just, we will be hopeful, but we can't sit here and say nothing. That's my own fear when people come here and say this is life and there's lies on the tongue. People come here and say Liberia will never become anything. No, I will rebuke you. Fight your president, fight your representative, fight your senators, but don't curse my country.
All right, thank you very much, Emmy. We appreciate you. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Emmy. We appreciate you. But
all of y'all thought y'all come out to the scene there was talking. What Grace Bay State doing government? Say you talking about the president
that
yet?
doesn't mean my country will not become anything.
Grace Bay take 500,000 naira social security money and go back out for your president. He do nothing about that. 500,000 or social security money and go back out with it.
It's okay to blast your president. Nothing wrong with that. But don't say my country will not be nothing. It will not grow. It will not succeed. No, I will blast you.
I want to say thanks to you, Fambole. We appreciate you. Alfred, who came last minute of time.
And curse the country. Say it, Nelson.
Alfred did not curse the country.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Nothing will come from Liberia.
No, I read here. I said if the trajectory your president is heading on, if he does not change, course, he's gonna be the worst president in the history of Liberia. That's what I said.
Okay, so
Alfred, come from Liberia.
Thank you, Alfred. Thank you, and family. Thank you. But let me just say this: when we come here, we don't come to make prophecy. We don't come to have devotion and pray Sunday school. We come to make analysis on issues. And
see the power of life and death. It lies on the tongue. That's not no. That's what my Bible tells me.
Thank you very much, Nelson, for the correction. Thank you very much.
I'm not telling you to praising his leader, but don't declare a negative word over my country. That's what I'm not going to stand for.
Emmy, I know your prayer time reached. You went backstage. You had your prayer. You came back, and how you started rebuking Alfred. But listen, we come here and we make analysis, and it's such that it will not always go the way we want it.
Just how you call the people controversial. The most controversial group. It not go the way you want it to go.
It really hurt you because it been said 3 days ago. You still on there, like you already heard about that.
The minister also so Nessie that join the people to be using strong words on all here. I say okay, Nessie know what he on. He know what he on.
The guys are controversial. I always say that. But I want to say thanks to everyone for being here tonight. It's been a great show. We look forward to being here next week or on Monday. We look forward to. So we don't have a show coming up tomorrow, or I would say today, since we're in Liberia. But we have a show on Monday. And I want to say thanks to everyone. Alfred. It's been a great one. You didn't come for Sunday school, that I can say for a fact.
No, you did.
Analysis, and you made your analysis, and we respect that. Nobody should rebuke you and make you feel that
I will rebuke him.
I mean, may rebuke all she wants.
Nothing. I have thick skin. If you don't have thick skin, you can be here. Some of us we have thick skin. That's why we are here. We are not afraid. So when we say things, when we say things and people don't agree with it, they want to come at us. We are here to listen. That's why the platform is all about.
Exactly.
Okay, but just before we go, let me do.
You're strong.
Brother Emmanuel Saki is following the show as well. The man
Emmanuel Saki, the Emmanuel Saki that I know.
I don't know if it's Emmanuel Saki, but his wife's birthday is today, as per Liberian time. Yvonne Claus Saki, your husband, Emmanuel Saki, your kids, Desire Saki, Favor Saki, George Saki, and Emmanuel T. Saki.
How many Sakis over there, so man?
I mean, that's the entire family.
Your family.
They all
About-
wishing
family.
happy
About five
birthday.
or
birthday.
Celebrate her birthday today, Mrs.
Happy birthday, Mrs. Saki.
Saki. Happy birthday to you. We wish you all the best as you celebrate your birthday today. And to all of our folks across the world, thanks for being here with us. And we want to say have a good night. And
Did you forget Maggie's son's birthday today?
oh no. Do you have the do you have it? So we put it up?
Well,
That
she
picture was
did
in
a
the-
one
it
flash
was-
thing, so
I didn't go there earlier.
she didn't send a picture. She did a one flash thing, so
You know, but
when you look at a picture, you can't go back on there.
Yeah,
It's-
yeah.
it's-
The one-time view.
There's a whole back to center thing is serious. Alfred, there's a
Oh,
whole
boy.
prayer warrior group against you tonight.
That's right, man. Monsieur, back to center.
And you have Bible verses coming for Alfred as well.
There you go.
Guys, come on, man. Let's stop taking this thing. Look,
Yeah,
Alfred was-
nothing before you
You don't
go.
play like
Before you go.
Liberia. You don't play like people like Liberia. You don't do that.
Thank you,
Yeah,
everyone.
Nelson, quickly before you go, Nelson, quickly.
Let's go to sleep. We don't want to
Yeah,
hear you.
we'll go. But let me just say this to Nelson. All the civil conflicts in Liberia. I was born, I was down there, the civil conflict ended. I never traveled anywhere. So when you see me speaking the way I speak, what I'm trying to tell you is that I was robbed of my childhood.
Alfred, that story is a story of thousands.
When you see the way I speak, Nelson. I'm speaking with passion to let our leaders know that they need to do better.
Okay.
They need to do better.
All right, that's fine.
You're not
But don't
against
drag the whole country like that.
You should speak to your leaders to do better.
That's nice. It's okay.
Thanks a lot. Bye bye.